April 1945. Berlin no longer looks like a capital. It looks like the end of the world. Entire streets are burning. Apartment blocks are ripped open like broken ribs. Smoke hangs in the air so thick it turns day into permanent twilight. Soviet artillery pounds the city without mercy. Every explosion feels closer than the last. Above ground, Germany is collapsing. Below ground, in a reinforced concrete bunker beneath the Reich Chancellery, Adolf Hitler waits in silence. The room smells of damp concrete, sweat, and fear. The once powerful Führer sits hunched over a wooden table covered in military maps. His hand trembles as he traces defensive lines that no longer exist. Red arrows, Soviet positions, close in from every direction. What used to be bold, black German lines are now broken fragments. He stares at the map, as if staring long enough might change reality. It doesn't. Every few minutes the bunker shakes from distant shelling. Dust falls from the ceiling. Light bulbs flicker. Somewhere in the hallway, a typewriter clacks nervously. Orders are still being written. Reports are still being filed. But everyone inside knows the truth. The war is lost. Still, no one dares to say it clearly. Generals enter the map room one by one. Their uniforms are wrinkled. Their faces are pale from exhaustion and lack of sleep. Some haven't seen daylight in days. They begin their reports. Army Group Steiner is preparing a counterattack. Reinforcements are being assembled. Berlin can still be defended. The words sound confident, but the tone betrays them. Hitler listens without interrupting. His face is pale, almost gray. His eyes look smaller than they once did, sunken, restless, searching. He knows they are lying. Steiner has no real forces. The divisions exist only on paper. Fuel is gone. Ammunition is scarce. Soldiers are retreating or surrendering. Some units are made up of teenagers and elderly men with barely any training. Yet Hitler demands belief. He slams his trembling fist onto the table. Steiner will attack. The room freezes. No one moves. No one answers. The silence stretches until it becomes unbearable. Finally, one officer quietly admits the truth. Mein Führer, Steiner cannot attack. He does not have the strength. For a moment, there is only the distant thunder of artillery. Then something inside Hitler breaks. He explodes in rage, screaming about betrayal, incompetence, cowardice. He accuses his generals of treason. He says the German people have failed him. He says the army has disappointed him. His voice cracks between fury and despair. This is not the confident dictator of 1939. This is a cornered man. After the outburst, something changes. The shouting stops. His shoulders slump. His voice lowers. Cold. Controlled. Almost detached. If the war is lost, he mutters, then the German people have proved themselves unworthy. The words hang in the air like poison. In that moment, a dangerous idea begins to form. Not a plan to win. Not a plan to negotiate. But something darker. If Germany cannot have victory, then Germany will not have a future. The bunker feels smaller now. Eva Braun moves quietly through the corridors, trying to maintain a sense of normal life. She pours tea. She smiles. She pretends everything is under control, but even she can hear the artillery drawing closer. Some officers whisper about escape routes. Others quietly destroy documents. A few already carry cyanide capsules in their pockets. Outside, Soviet forces tighten the circle around Berlin. Inside, Hitler stares at the map again. Not looking for salvation. Looking for a final act. Something decisive. Something absolute. A command that will define the end. The empire above him is dying in fire. And deep beneath the ruins, the idea of a last secret order begins to take shape. An order not meant to save Germany, but to punish it. By late April 1945, Adolf Hitler is no longer ruling an empire. He is surviving in a hole. The bunker has become his entire world. Low ceilings, narrow corridors, artificial light that never turns off, air thick with smoke and sweat. Days and nights blend together, time loses meaning. Inside these concrete walls, reality is distorted. Hitler wakes up late, sometimes after noon, sometimes after sunset. He eats small meals in silence. Often he barely touches his food. His doctors worry, but they are afraid to speak honestly. His body is collapsing. His left hand shakes constantly. His posture is bent. His steps are slow and unsteady. Walking down a hallway takes effort. Standing during meetings is painful. Medical reports suggest Parkinson's disease, severe exhaustion, and mental breakdown, but no one officially diagnoses the Führer. To do so would be dangerous. So they pretend he is fine. He pretends too. During briefings, he still tries to appear strong. He straightens his back. He raises his voice. He points at maps with forced confidence. But everyone can see the truth. This is not the man who once hypnotized crowds. This is a shadow. Every morning, military conferences are held in the main briefing room. Maps cover the walls. Colored pins mark units that no longer exist. Staff officers rush in with fresh reports, trying to sound optimistic. Enemy advances have been slowed. Our lines are stabilizing. New reserves are being prepared. None of it is real. Entire armies have disappeared. Cities have fallen. Railways are destroyed. Fuel supplies are gone. Germany is bleeding to death. Hitler knows this, and it drives him into paranoia. He begins to see enemies everywhere. Generals are traitors. Commanders are cowards. Ministers are conspirators. Anyone who brings bad news becomes a suspect. He fires officers daily. He threatens courts-martial. He speaks openly about executions. One mistake could mean death. Some staff members stop sleeping. They drink heavily. Others write farewell letters to their families, expecting arrest at any moment. Trust inside the bunker evaporates. Everyone watches everyone. Hitler's anger grows more violent. One afternoon, a general reports that a defensive line has collapsed. Before the man finishes speaking, Hitler interrupts. "You lied to me." He throws papers across the room. "You all lied, you betrayed me, you ruined everything." Spittle flies from his mouth. His face turns red. His hands shake uncontrollably. The officers stand frozen. No one dares to respond. After 10 minutes of shouting, he suddenly stops. Silence. He sinks into his chair, exhausted, breathing heavily, staring at nothing. These emotional collapses become frequent. Rage, then emptiness, then cold calculation. It is during these quiet moments that his thinking becomes most dangerous. He starts talking about fate, about destiny, about history. "I will not be remembered as a failure," he says quietly one night. "The world will understand." He becomes obsessed with his legacy. He knows he is going to die, but he refuses to be humiliated. He will not be captured. He will not be judged. He will not beg. If he is going down, he will decide how. Eva Braun notices the change. She has known him for years. She has seen his moods, his temper, his pride, but now something is different. He speaks less to her. He spends hours alone in his room. Sometimes she hears him packing at night. Other times, he sits motionless in the dark. When she asks if he wants to escape, he laughs bitterly. Escape to where? He replies. The world belongs to my enemies now. Around this time, he begins studying reports about German infrastructure. Power plants, water systems, factories, bridges, railways. Not to protect them, to evaluate them, how quickly they could be destroyed, which ones are essential, which ones must not survive. Staff officers notice these requests and feel uneasy. Why would a leader who hopes to rebuild ask such questions? They do not know it yet, but Hitler's thinking has shifted. From victory to vengeance, from leadership to punishment, he has reached a terrifying conclusion. If the German people could not win for him, then they did not deserve to live after him. And in the depths of the bunker, surrounded by ruins and fear, the idea of a final command grows clearer. A command that will turn defeat into destruction. A command that will erase a nation. Late April 1945. Night inside the bunker feels different. During the day, there are meetings, reports, shouting, movement. Officers rush through corridors. Phones ring, typewriters clatter. There is noise even in defeat. At night, everything slows. Lights are dimmed. Conversations become whispers. Footsteps echo too loudly. Every sound feels dangerous. Outside, Soviet artillery never stops. The explosions are constant now. Boom, boom, boom. Each impact feels closer. Each one reminds everyone inside, time is running out. On one such night, Hitler cannot sleep. He sits alone in his small room, wearing the same wrinkled uniform he has worn for days. His hair is uncombed. His eyes are red from exhaustion. A half-empty glass of mineral water stands untouched beside him. On the desk are folders. Not battle plans. Not retreat routes. Infrastructure reports. Power grids. Railway hubs. Factories. Water treatment plants. Communication centers. Germany's backbone. He studies them carefully. Page after page. Location, capacity, vulnerability. He is no longer thinking like a commander. He is thinking like a destroyer. Around midnight, he presses a button on his desk. An aide enters quietly. Bring Speer and Kädel and Jodl, Hitler says. No one else. The aide hesitates for half a second, then nods and leaves. Within minutes, 3 men walk through the narrow corridor toward Hitler's office. Albert Speer, Minister of Armaments. Wilhelm Kädel, Chief of the High Command. Alfred Jodl, Operations Chief. All 3 look exhausted. All 3 sense something is wrong. The door closes behind them. No secretary remains. No stenographer. No official record. Only 4 men in a concrete room. Hitler does not invite them to sit. He stands slowly, leaning on the desk for support. His voice is calm. Too calm. The war is lost, he begins. The words shock them. He has never admitted this before. Not openly. Not clearly. Speer feels a chill run down his spine. Hitler continues. The German people have failed. They were too weak. They did not fight hard enough. Kädel shifts uncomfortably. My Führer. Hitler raises his hand. Silence. If they cannot defend their nation, Hitler says, then they do not deserve to survive. He opens one of the folders. Inside are lists of targets. Bridges across major rivers. Hydroelectric dams. Coal mines. Steel plants. Telephone exchanges. Food storage facilities. He slides the documents across the desk. These are to be destroyed, he says. All of them. The men stare at the papers. Jodl frowns. "My Führer, these facilities are essential for civilians, for rebuilding." Hitler's eyes harden. "There will be no rebuilding." Speer finally speaks. "This will lead to famine, disease. Millions will suffer." Hitler does not flinch. "Then they will suffer," he replies. "This is their punishment." The room feels colder. This is not military strategy. This is collective suicide. Hitler straightens himself and delivers the order. Every bridge, every factory, every power station must be demolished. Nothing must fall into enemy hands. Nothing must remain usable. This is my final command. History will later call it the Nero Decree. But in this room, it is simply known as the Last Order. Cadel nods stiffly. Jodl looks down. Speer feels sick. He realizes something terrifying. If this command is obeyed, Germany will be reduced to ruins long after the war ends. Hospitals will have no electricity. Cities will have no water. Trains will not run. Food will not arrive. Survivors will starve. Children will freeze. Entire regions will collapse. And it will all be deliberate. Hitler watches their faces carefully. He wants loyalty. He wants obedience. He wants confirmation. "Is that understood?" he asks. "Yes, my Führer," Cadel replies. "Yes, my Führer," Jodl echoes. Speer hesitates, then quietly says yes. But inside, he makes a decision. He will not follow this order. Not completely. Not blindly. Not at the cost of millions of lives. He will pretend. He will delay. He will sabotage it from within. If Hitler finds out, he will be executed. But Speer accepts the risk, because this order is madness. As the men leave the room, Hitler remains standing alone. For the first time in days, he feels calm. He believes he has taken control again. He believes he has shaped the ending. He believes Germany will disappear with him. He does not know that his command is already beginning to fail. By the final week of April 1945, Berlin is no longer a city. It is a battlefield. Soviet tanks grind through ruined streets. Infantry advances house by house. Snipers hide in shattered windows. Fires burn without anyone trying to extinguish them. The sound of war is everywhere. Explosions, gunfire, screams, crumbling concrete. The front line moves closer to the bunker every hour. Inside, panic spreads. Officers stop pretending. They know the end is near. Some begin destroying files. Others burn personal letters. Many drink heavily. Suicide becomes common. Cyanide capsules pass quietly from hand to hand. In the hospital section, wounded soldiers beg for morphine. Doctors have almost none left. In the corridors, whispers travel faster than orders. Hitler will kill himself. The Soviets are at Potsdamer Platz. There is no escape. Fear becomes the air everyone breathes. Hitler notices the change. He sees it in their eyes. They are no longer loyal followers. They are survivors. And that feels like betrayal. He becomes colder, more distant. Meetings grow shorter. He no longer listens to long reports. He interrupts constantly. Useless. Too late. Meaningless. One afternoon, he learns that several factories have not been destroyed. Railway bridges are still standing. Power stations are still operating. His order is being ignored. He summons Albert Speer immediately. Speer enters the room, knowing his life may end within minutes. Hitler holds the reports in his shaking hand. Explain this, he says. Speer remains calm. He speaks carefully. My Führer, destroying everything now would only slow military operations. It would help the enemy. It is a lie. A necessary lie. Hitler stares at him. For a long time. The room is silent except for distant explosions. Finally, Hitler looks away. Do what you can, he mutters. Speer leaves, barely able to breathe. He has survived. For now, across Germany, many regional commanders make their own decisions. Some follow the order. Bridges are blown up. Factories are sabotaged. Rail lines are cut. Others refuse. They hide equipment. They disable explosives. They fake reports. They choose survival over obedience. A quiet rebellion spreads. Not against Hitler openly. Against his madness. Meanwhile, inside the bunker, life becomes surreal. Hitler eats dinner with Eva Braun and a few loyal aides. They talk about movies, about music, about memories. Outside, the world is ending. He gives away his personal belongings. Portraits, books, medals. He thanks his secretaries. Some cry. Some cannot look at him. He writes his political testament, blaming Jews, blaming generals, blaming the world, never himself. He dictates it with icy precision. No regret, no apology, only accusations. On April 29, he marries Eva Braun in a small ceremony. A civil servant conducts the wedding in the bunker. Bombs shake the walls. They sign papers while dust falls from the ceiling. It feels unreal, like a scene from a nightmare. That night, Hitler speaks privately to his closest aides. I will not fall into enemy hands, he says. They will not display me in a cage. His decision is final. He knows death is coming, but he still believes his last order will live on. That Germany will burn after him. That his revenge will succeed. He is wrong, because outside the bunker, his control is already gone. His empire has collapsed. His authority is fading. And his final command is being quietly dismantled by the very people who once obeyed him without question. April 30, 1945. The bunker is trembling. Not from fear, from impact. Soviet artillery is now so close that every explosion feels like a direct hit. Concrete dust falls constantly from the ceiling, pipes leak, lights flicker. The outside world is only a few hundred meters away, and it belongs to the enemy. Inside his private room, Adolf Hitler sits quietly at a small table. In front of him are two objects: a pistol, a glass vial. Both mean the same thing: death. He wears a clean uniform for the first time in days. His hair is combed. His boots are polished. It is a final attempt at dignity. Eva Braun sits beside him. She is calm. Too calm. She knows what is coming. They speak softly. No one hears the conversation. No one ever will. Outside the room, aides and secretaries wait in silence. Some are crying. Some stare at the floor. Some feel nothing at all anymore. At 3:30 p.m. the door closes. A few minutes pass. Then a muffled sound. A gunshot. No one rushes in. Everyone already understands. After several minutes, two officers enter. The bodies are found on the sofa. Hitler is slumped forward, blood on his temple. Eva lies beside him, poisoned. The Führer is dead. There is no announcement, no ceremony, no victory, only silence. According to Hitler's instructions, The bodies are wrapped in blankets and carried up to the Chancellery Garden. Under constant shelling, they are placed in a shell crater. Petrol is poured over them. A match is lit. Flames rise. The last physical trace of the Third Reich's leader disappears in smoke. Inside the bunker, command collapses. Admiral Dönitz is named successor, but his authority is weak. Communication lines are broken. Units are surrendering everywhere. Within days, Germany signs unconditional surrender. The war in Europe is over, and Hitler's last secret order. It dies with him. Across Germany, Speer and other officials quietly reverse destruction plans. Bridges are repaired instead of blown up. Factories are preserved. Power plants remain active. Some damage cannot be undone. Cities are in ruins. Millions are homeless. Food is scarce. But total collapse is avoided. Because enough people chose disobedience. They chose humanity over loyalty. They chose rebuilding over revenge. In the months that follow, Germany begins again. Slowly, painfully, brick by brick, train by train, light by light, Hitler's vision of a nation erased from history fails. His final command becomes a symbol of his downfall. Not strength, not genius, but despair. A man who could not accept defeat. A leader who preferred destruction to responsibility. A dictator who tried to drag his country into the grave with him. And failed. Today, historians study that last order as a warning of what happens when power meets obsession, when pride meets reality, when leaders choose ego over people. Because in the end, Hitler did not decide Germany's future. The survivors did.